Hello and welcome again to another eToro webinar. I am joined tonight by Amnon, who is a product manager here at eToro, and he will be kind of walking you through some of the newest features on the platform, which of course includes the trailing stop loss. So bear with me for a second, and Amnon, you should be good to go.
Great, so hope you can all see my screen. Annie, tell me if
Yeah,
at least you can.
Yeah, I can, which means everyone else should be as well.
So, hi everyone. As Annie mentioned, my name is Amnon, and I'm one of the product managers at eToro. And I'm going to walk you through a few new features that we launched recently. The first feature is one of the most expected and asked for features in a very long time. It's the trailing stop loss. Let me start by showing you how to activate trailing stop loss, and then we'll talk a little bit about what it does. So trailing stop loss is one of the parameters for a stop loss when you open a position. Okay, let's say, so I open a position on the Euro USD pair, and when I click on the stop loss, I can see the trailing stop loss checkbox here. If I check it, then the trailing stop loss is on. Very simple. Now what does it do? So if I open a trade at 1.1108 or 09, later we'll use the exact numbers to show the example, and my stop loss is at 110.59. This is a difference of like 50 pips. Okay, so the trailing stop loss now turns this pip difference into a fixed difference that will always follow the trade in the direction I'm trading. So if I'm buying, okay, if the market moves in my favor, okay, the stop loss will move with me as the market advances. So let's open the trade and see how it looks like. So I open the trade, and I'll go to the portfolio to see the specific trade. Okay, it's this trade. Now you can see that the line that usually is a regular line around the stop loss, it's a dotted line. This marks that it's a trailing stop loss. And if I opened at 1108 eventually, and the current rate is 1105, and that's the spread, that's the difference, the spread difference. If we'll wait a little bit and wait that the market will move to 111.06, we'll see that the stop loss rate will update by 1 pip as well. And as long as the market moves in my direction, in my favor, it'll update. Once it starts moving against my position, the stop loss won't update, and it'll stay at the highest point it has been to that point in time. You see, the rate updated to 1106, and my stop loss updated to 1059. And this, what this help you to do is to lock in profits. Okay, so once I get to positive territory in my P&L, then it'll stay there as long as the market moves. It guards your profit. It locks them in. So you can make more profit over time.
Amnon?
Yeah.
A question that's come in. If you're using the trailing stop loss and that's how you sort of open your position, can you later, if you are in a profit and you want to lock in your positive stop loss, as we say, can you revert back to the usual stop loss take profit?
Absolutely. When you edit, let's do it right now. Clicking on the stop loss on your portfolio, is a shortcut to edit the stop loss, but you can either click here to get there, or sorry, you can click on the cogwheel here. It has the same effect. Okay, so when I edit the stop loss, you see the checkbox is still here, and then I can turn it off. Okay, I can turn it off and change to whatever rate I want it to be. Let's say 1050. I can update. Okay, you see the dotted line is gone. Oh, sorry. Update. See, the dotted line is gone, and now it's 1050. Now if I want it back, I can switch it back on. And the difference will be the new difference. So now it's a 55 pip different. If I want it back at 50, then I'll update it to 1055. And then the dotted line is back, and we're once again using the trailing stop loss feature. Cool. Do you have any other questions about this?
Not right now. And does anybody have any questions on the trailing stop loss specifically? Just feel free to send those in the meantime. However, from you, is there anything else that we should know about the trailing stop loss?
Well, at the moment, I mean, if I just can give you some tips about using the trailing stop loss, then everyone should be careful using the trailing stop loss, because the market moves in the way the market moves is kind of it advances in a certain number of pips, and then it has some sort of a correction. So the trailing stop, if it's too narrow, if it's too close to your if the pip difference is too small, or if the trailing stop loss is too close to the market, then one of these corrections might accidentally take you out of the market. So you really have to figure out what's the best difference for a specific instrument that fits your type of trading, or the way you decide how to open a position.
So we have a few questions.
Sure.
The first is from Moses, and he asks, for stocks specifically, if you update the stop loss when the market's closed, what happens when the market reopens, assuming that there is a gap? It'll trigger, correct? It'll just trigger whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as a regular stop loss. Once the market closes, the value of the stop loss is saved, and then when the market opens, that's the latest trade. So if it moves against you and has a gap, then it'll trigger.
And Moses, it's important to bear in mind that your stop loss is not only triggered when that exact price is reached, but when any price within a specific range around that price is basically hit. So it doesn't necessarily mean you set one price and it will only ever close at that price, but basically any price that gets within a roughly 10 pip range of that price is basically when we put the close through. So that was the first one. Dan asks, does this mean if the trade is in 50 pips of profit, will the stop loss be set at the opening rate?
In our example, then yes. If this trade, let's say we kept it as it was, or let's check, it's now at it's not 50. Let's make it 50. Okay. So right now, I updated it to be exactly 50 apart. Okay. From the current to the stop loss, and once it gets to 50 pip profit, then yes, the stop loss rate will be the open rate. Okay.
And the last question that we have on the trailing stop loss is whether or not there is a fee to change your stop loss. Of course, there isn't, unless you are extending it further past the initial amount that you put into your position.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question. Can you repeat?
The last question on the trailing stop loss was from Sander, and he asked, they asked, if there was a fee to change the stop loss, and there isn't, unless, of course, you are moving your stop loss beyond the initial investment into the position.
Right. Well, that's not really a fee.
It's,
It's
it's not a
just
fee. You're just putting more money behind the
moving.
trade.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
it's like adding more to the margin that's needed to
exactly,
hold the trade.
exactly. Teamwork.
So yeah,
um,
no fees. No
so
fees for changing stop loss.
exactly. So okay, there's one more now. It would be better to enable the trailing stop loss once your trade is in profit rather than while opening the position, isn't it? So, am I correct in thinking you can't set a trailing stop loss once your trade is running?
No, that's not true. You can, let's do it. Let's do an example like that. Okay, so trade. Let's change the amount so we'll know the difference. So that's 120. You see, with no trailing stop loss, I open a trade.
Right.
We'll find it here. That's the original trade. Okay, this is the new trade, and I'll edit. I'll add the trailing stop loss,
There you go.
and there you go.
Something
So
new
yeah,
every day.
and about when to start the trailing stop loss, it's really a matter of your trading style. If it's enough apart from the opening rate, then it really doesn't matter if you change it once you get to a profit, because it'll never get it'll never go back. So it'll never be lower on a buy trade or higher on a sell trade. So it really doesn't matter if you switch it on after you're in profit or at the beginning of the trade.
Okay. That's it on the trailing stop loss, so I think we can move on to the next.
Cool. Okay. So the next feature we want to talk about is the trader chart. Let's look at a trader chart. Okay. We'll pick one. Doesn't matter which one. This is one of our editor's choice users. Okay. And what we added is a chart. Now, this chart is not a regular equity chart. As you can see here, it's based on a copy simulation results, meaning these numbers are essentially a what-if simulation. What if I had copied James Lewis 5, in this case, 1 year ago, okay, using $10,000. So at the moment, I'd have $11,479. That's roughly what 14%. Okay, that's 1 year ago. If I change the time frame for, let's say, 3 months ago, then I'd have made 9%, 9.14%. Okay, this means that it's exactly like if I'd copied this user or this trader, meaning it takes into account everything that comes with copy, such as copy dividends and copy stop loss. So if this user, or sorry, trader, had lost more than the default 40% copy stop loss, then we would have seen a straight line. I'll try to find someone like that. I don't know if I can.
I can't think of anyone off the top of my head either.
We can just search for one, okay, using the discovery. Okay, so this. Okay, so. Okay, these guys lost a lot of money. Okay, they lost 100%, but if we will look at their chart, you'll see that it's capped, you see here, at $6,000, meaning I only lost 40% of those $10,000 copy simulation funds. Okay, so it really is important to understand this concept, because this is a chart for copiers and not for the trader themselves. So you can use this as a tool to find investors or traders to copy, because this is exactly your expected results. What else you can do with this chart? Since this is, we're using our chart platform, I can use it to do some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I'll show you. I'll find someone who has decent returns, like this guy again. Okay, so this is James Lewis's return in the past year. Let's compare James Lewis to, for instance, the S&P. Okay, so this is the return of the S&P. The S&P did 4% this past year, and James Lewis did 15%. But we can also compare users. So Annie, do you have a special user you wanna? There's a guy called Social and Smart, right? Something like that.
Smart and Social, yeah.
Smart and Social.
Smart and Social, yeah.
Smart and Social. Okay, yeah, another one of our popular investors. Oh, sorry, that was wrong. I'll go back to James Lewis chart. I meant to compare. So let's compare with Smart and Social. Okay, it looks like Smart and Social did a better job, right? So basically you can not only compare the returns and the drawdowns, what you get in the discovery, you can actually look at the chart to see that this guy, Smart and Social, started on October, because you see the flat line here means that he didn't have any open trades, and he made a whopping 160% in 1 year. That also might indicate any differences in his risk score, right? Because you see here he had major drawdowns from like 80 to 20. That's quite a drawdown. Whereas James Lewis is a bit less volatile. And because this is, again, using our charting system, you can also draw studies on channels and lines and whatever you want. So if you want to check this guy RSI, you can simply draw the RSI. If you're a technical analysis kind of trader or investor, then you can use all these cool studies and drawings to understand who you want to copy. And like our market chart, you can share it. So let's say you want to, I'll show my chart. Well, no, my chart is not that good. Annie, how's your chart?
Not that much better. These are training accounts, to be fair.
Okay, so let's say that I'm Annie, and I want to compare my chart with that of our CEO, let's say. Oh, sorry, not here, here. Whose major investment is the Bitcoin, so let's see he's better, and you want to share it to the world, to Facebook or inside eToro or wherever. So you can post it and you'll get it, basically the chart with everything, annotations and all. And you can post it. I'm not going to post it because I don't want to shame Annie in public. That's it. Any questions?
We don't have any questions on this particular feature. There is one sort of circling back to the trailing stop loss, that I thought was an
Mm-hmm.
interesting one, which was if the trailing stop loss could theoretically ever be applied to copy trading, much like the regular copy stop loss that we have. Could we do a trailing copy stop loss?
Well, not at the moment, but that's a
Right.
feature that we're working on. So yeah,
So it's on the table.
a trailing CSL is coming.
Okay. Okay, that's good news. News to me as well, so that's great. Cool. Do we have anything
Yeah, we have
more?
one more clarification that we changed something in the copy limitations, and I'll try to show it to you. I'm not sure I can find a specific user um, that it happens to him. Okay, let's say I have in my portfolio, I have in my account, and this is my demo account or my virtual account, I have like around $975. Okay, I'll start to copy someone. Let's find someone to copy. Okay, so every time I start a copy, I open a copy pop-up or execution, I see this number, the average copy trade size. For those of you who don't know what this means, it means that we measure the average trade size of this guy, Marco Darius, and we apply that to the amount that you're about to copy the user with. So if I'll change it to 290, it'll change accordingly. We have one limitation in eToro that a trade size cannot be under $1. So in cases where you copy this investor and you only use $100, which is the minimum, okay, you can't copy with less, then your average trade size will be $3.08 on average. This means that the copy experience you'll have is pretty good. I mean, you'll have the same trades as Marco, and you'll get the same returns. But sometimes traders trade with really low amounts, and their average trade size is so small that your average trade size might be below $1. And we used to allow that, and you used to be able to copy with, let's say, $100, and the average copy trade size could have been, let's say, 50 cents. That meant that some of the trades opened and some of the trades didn't open, meaning your copy experience and the returns, the matching of the returns between you and the copied investor were not the same. So we decided to not allow copying someone with average copy trade size less than $1. So we're now limiting it as a minimum amount. Your minimum amount will be either the $100 or the amount that it'll take to copy the user or the investor with average copy trade size of at least $1. This probably was very confusing, and I try to make it as understandable as I could.
I have covered this before on a separate webinar, all about copy trading, so I will add the link to that on the feed. And that's probably confusing as well because it's not so easy to digest when you're talking about it, but it's a lot easier.
I wrote a blog post about it. It's part of the trailing stop loss blog post. So
I'll
if you look
publish
it
that
up
as well
on Google or on a blog, then
I'll have that up
the
later on.
explanation is there.
So we do have some more questions. They're all over the place, but they're all relevant. So the first one I have is on the chart, and that is whether you should be looking at the user chart, say the simulation, before or after you start copying someone.
Where you can do both. You can use the chart to learn which traders or investors you want to copy, and if you like the the way they chart seem in terms of volatility. And you see this one had like a major drawdown, but since September, he kind of have a really, nice, steady uptrend going chart. So he might be like a good a potential to copy. And sometimes you want to set, just like in trading, you want to set a stop loss, and you want to decide where the copy stop loss should be. And you now have, let's say, 12,000. That's not really the number. You should figure out the same percentages. So this is like a 23%, and you can draw a line, right? Let's say the stop loss should be here or here. And then you would know when, if you look at the chart while you're copying him, you don't really have to, calculate all the numbers. You just see, you'll just see that it reaches this line and you can stop copying. So you can use the chart either way.
Okay, how often does it update the chart?
The chart updates once a day.
At midnight.
Those are all daily. These are all daily returns. You can see it here. See each data point is 1 day.
Okay. I have a bunch of questions coming in now. Just to clarify for the people that are asking, this webinar is being recorded. It will be published later on, both on my wall and on eToro's official YouTube channel, where all our previous webinars are as well. So if there's any part that you missed or anything that you want to watch again, you will be able to do that in a little while. It does take a brief while for the file to actually be formatted and downloaded and then uploaded and all that, but it should be online within the next couple hours or so. So moving away from that again. One of the questions I have here from one of our PIs, in fact, is will there be an indicator to actually see the trailing stop loss within your chart at some point? Is that something we would be able to have in the future?
Yes, we will have probably even this year, by the end of the year, we'll have all the trading information on the chart. We will be able to, or you will be able to draw the trading information on chart. This means that you'll see the open line, the current line, and the stop loss and take profit lines. So if you have a trailing stop loss, then obviously this line will update and move along with the trade.
Okay. And I have a couple other that are slightly unrelated to this, but still sort of relevant, just because we don't have too much access to you. So the first question I have here is, would we be able to see the leverage used by people that we copy at any point, either beforehand or, either before we start copying someone or just indicated somewhere without having to obviously ask that person directly? Okay,
so this is actually something we're working on right now and will be released in a few weeks, as close as I think end of the month. We will add another column here. Okay, not exactly here, but more like here, where you see specific trades.
Right.
Okay, we will have leverage, a leverage column in the public portfolio. So you'd see that this trade was open with 0.72% of his account with leverage X2 or X5 or whatever it may be.
Okay.
So it's coming really, really soon.
And from your perspective then as well, when is the best time to actually start copying someone? Is it when they are already on a roll, or is it maybe beforehand when they're still kind of in those early stages with a little profit, let's say?
Again, this is a question for, that really depends on your trading style. If you're more of a buy and hold kind of guy, or gal, and you want to trade responsibly, then you should find different traders or different investors that hold different asset types. So let's say you go to the discovery, then you can have people investing in forex or stocks. You don't want to be, take too much risk. So the 1, 2, 3, 4s risk are probably a good idea for you to copy, and you want to be diversified. I don't think it necessarily has to be a matter of timing. So it's not really that if I want to copy Mr. Indus here, then I have to wait for him to lose or something, because he also invests like in a buy and hold or changing up his portfolio only once in a while. So that's one type of copying. The more rational kind of way to do it to profit over time. And but I know other people who really like to see that there's a trending investor and he's now losing, so they assume he will regain his profits back, and they do that. In my experience, these guys eventually they lose the entire account, and I don't think that's really a viable copy strategy. It might work for a while, but then it stopped working, and you lose everything, or everything you copy. So I really think that diversifying using several investors, that's the way to go. And just to make it easier for you guys, we have a team that decides on who appears here in this editor's choice feature in the discovery. So, and we have the rationale behind adding these traders here, so you can read about them. You can check their stats, and then decide if you want to join in or not. These are the recommended. It makes it a lot easier to find someone to copy by just using these traders.
There are so many filters available there that you can really find someone who is very much suited to your own style, regardless of what that is. So yeah, Amnon is 100% right in saying that you really need to look around, and not just go with someone just because they're in front of you. I think something that is often neglected, in copy trading is that people sort of assume that you come in, you find someone, and you sort of ride it out with them forever. But that's not how it works. Copying is very much like trading yourself. Is very much like your own portfolio, where you do have to sort of maintain it and kind of keep an eye on how it's performing. And if something or someone rather is no longer doing well for you in your portfolio, then it's time to move on and add more successful options,
Exactly.
I guess.
That's what copy stop loss is all about, basically.
Yeah. So I think we're sort of at the place where we can wrap it up now. I do have one last question. If anyone else has anything, now's the time to ask. So with that, I just want to ask one more, which is there a take profit equivalent of a trailing stop loss? So a trailing take profit, I guess.
Okay, so there's a mathematical problem with that notion, because if I let's say the trade is moving in my direction, and I change the take profit to go farther away from me, then I'll never ever hit it. So the only reason to have that feature, and we thought about it, is because we're limiting our take profit. Okay, to I think it's 1,000% right now, or 10,000%.
It's
I'm not sure.
1,000.
I think it's 1,000. Yeah. So, but 1,000% realistically is like, it's like really far. It's like 100% if you're in like 10 leverage, and on stocks it's a crazy thing. I mean, so realistically, it's not. You won't have to change the take profit that often, and so trailing or running away take profit is not like a really needed feature. And I mean, if there'll be like a real demand from our user base, then we might reconsider. But at the moment, we're not gonna provide such a feature.
For that. It's also worth bearing in mind that the take profit is 1,000% from what the price is right now. So as long as the price keeps moving more and more towards your take profit, you can continue extending it to that 1,000%. So you're not getting cut off at any point. So the last question we have here tonight is, if you copy someone who copies another person, can you see this? And of course you can. Whatever is happening in that person's portfolio, you will see it in on their page. Amnon, if you just want to go into someone's page, try find someone who's copying. If you want to do the search first, so we can see how to find that. So if you go straight,
if I can do that.
If you go to copy people, and I think it's under portfolio or something.
I don't think we have the
allocation people. Yeah, it's allocation people.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, there we go.
Okay, doesn't matter. Somewhat. Okay, so this. Okay, so she's copying Jared, and then you can see his trades for her. Okay, and I copy her, or I don't know why I said her. It's like a. I don't know what's wrong here.
Do you have pending orders?
I might. Wait, let me check. Next left. No, I'm good.
No, pending.
No, this is pending close.
No, pending, like pending orders to open.
No, I have enough funds. It's okay. Should be okay. Maybe this user is not eligible to be copied for some reason. We'll try it again. Is this the same? Right. So now that I see, I don't see that those trades are copied, but I see all the trades. So I'm not sure if that was the question or not. These are copy trades that this trader or investor is copying from a simple
stock market. Yeah. So what happens is, when you're looking at somebody's profile, you can see where their trades are coming from. So you can see that this Thasos oil person is copying simple stock market. However, you wouldn't be able to see any further than that. So I know simple stock market isn't copying anybody, but if he were, you wouldn't be able to see it from this page, but you would see it from his page. So the thing you've got to kind of bear in mind when you are copying people that copy is that you will again hit that $1 minimum barrier if there are too many I guess, levels between you and the original trader, let's say.
Hmm.
But I guess the main bonus behind all of that is that you are extremely diversified just because you're going through all these different people who have their own people-based portfolios, I guess. Um, so that looks to be like it's the last question. Um, I do have one more now that just asks if it's possible to only pick up a or specified positions from someone when copying. The answer is no right now. However, Amnon, is there an option in the future, or that will there be? Is that something we're exploring where you would be able to say, I want to copy only, lower
This is
leverage
something
trades
that
or?
we're thinking about, and it might get there to be able to copy only, let's say, gold trades
Hmm.
from someone. Um, but no, not at the moment, and it
Right.
might take a while.
Okay. So that's everything. So thank you to obviously everyone who's joined us tonight. Thank you, of course, Amnon. It's a lot
Thank you,
later
Annie.
for you than it is for me. So as I mentioned, everything you need to know will be on my wall a little bit later on once the video is ready to upload as well. And